Welcome to the Smash Jump Podcast, your place for honest and passionate gaming conversations. From time to time, old franchises thought to be forgotten seem to rise from the ashes and find new life with brand new reimaginings. Sometimes it's a remake, sometimes it's a remaster, or even a straight up sequel. But there's also some franchises that probably should stay dead for one reason or another. What gaming franchises deserve to be brought back and which should stay buried? I'm Ashton Lavelle, your host and Smash Jump contributor, and here with me are some awesome people.
Hey, my name is Gabe. I am the editor-in-chief at Smash Jump.
I'm Nicole. I am a contributor at Smash Jump.
I am Sam. I'm the video production manager and also a contributor at Smash Jump.
All right, and with that, let's go ahead and jump right into our What You Been Playing segment. From my understanding, based on what we were talking about a little bit at the beginning, Sam, you had something you wanted to say.
Well, not only that, I came prepared. So,
Oh, hell yeah, he's got a notebook.
I got a notebook and
taking notes
everything.
from Nicole from before.
Yes. So surprisingly, I work a 9 to 5 office job, right? Boring as hell. Never do it. But I have played a lot of stuff since I last came on here. I think I'm the first recurring person to come onto this podcast.
Yep.
And get, since then we've had like new people. So yes.
Adrian came. Adrian came back once.
Ah, right. Okay. Just Adrian just destroying my dreams. Anyway, so what I've been playing. So I've been playing quite a few bits. I've been playing a game called Moving Out. I think last time I was here, I mentioned that myself and my partner, we do this thing where I pick a game, she picks a game, and then we play a game together. So we decided on playing Moving Out. It's really fun. The physics are really annoying, I'll be honest with you. And it also might make your partner rage quit. It happened to my partner. We've not touched that game since she got really mad. 7 out of 10. Next one, Overcooked. Love Overcooked. Overcooked's great, extremely fun. We'll have also, I've written down here, we'll have you feeling like you're an extra in The Bear. 9 out of 10. Marvel
An
Rivals.
extra in the Bear.
Extra in The Bear. Yeah, you'll feel like you belong. Yeah,
That's
you'll
good.
have
That's really good.
Jeremy Allen White shouting at you.
My friend is Jeremy Allen White in The Bear whenever we play Overcooked. It's a nightmare. Yeah.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. Yeah, I just keep saying I need hands. I need hands. Keep saying it all the time. Marvel Rivals Fantastic Four update came out. I'm so happy that those guys are coming back. Last time I was on here, I said I'm going for a platinum. I'm 81% of the way there. I have put in a lot of times, a lot of hours. Yeah, don't do it. 8 out of 10. Lawnmower Simulator. Thought
What
I
was
might
the
like a
platinum
little.
for?
Marvel Rivals. Marvel Rivals.
There
I'm
we-
80,
oh, I got you.
81% of the way there. 81% of the way there. Lawn mowing simulator. I just wanted something calm and relaxing. For the
Have you ever thought about going outside and just mowing your lawn?
No, I don't have a lawn to mow. Not yet, anyways.
So
This will do.
have to
This
play
will do in the
simulator.
meantime. Yeah.
You
of
can
course,
start
of
up a
course.
business, like a lawn mowing business.
Yeah. See, the thing is, this is really, really random. Lawnmowers are different in the UK compared to what they are in America. We don't sit down and we don't have like a big old like machine that we sit down and control. We have like an actual thing that we just
Gotta
push.
walk.
Well, not
Yeah,
everybody
we-
has. That's only the affluents. Okay, a lot of
Oh,
us
right, okay.
scrubs here at the
Mhm.
bottom. We've got the push mowers too. You know.
Yeah, join the rest of the UK then. Join
My
the rest of
dad's
the
got like a big ass one that has two like arms, and he can like he has like zero turn. You know, like it's crazy.
Wow.
I don't really know why he does that, but
It shows how much I know about lawnmowers. Anyway, moving on. Titanfall 2 was one that I played as well. I love that game. I love that game so much. It's so underrated. Please, EA, make another one. Probably will happen. 9 out of 10 for that. And last time I played Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster, went straight to the second one. Stories give or take in that one. Gameplay greatly improved. Love the combo weapons. Please, Capcom, make more Dead Rising. Thank you. 8 out of 10. And that's about it. Thank you for coming
This is
to my
an
TED
amazing
Talk.
Recap. I
Hell
love it
yeah.
so much. I thought you came in so prepared. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. This is that may be the most engaging intro I've ever heard to like a recap of your week.
that was a very
love
like
this.
Nicole segment of like
It really
give
was.
us what you've been playing recently. All
And
right,
it's just
for the
everything.
past year, here's what I've been playing.
Just pulls
Yeah.
out the whiteboard like
Yeah, I
here
wish
it
I
all
had a
is.
big whiteboard so I could like it would be like something simple and then I'd flip it over and it's actually like a huge mind map of all the connections.
So like when I was 1 year old, I started playing on the just go
I
through the
came
whole,
out
like,
of the womb with a, what did you say, with like a whole like the Pokemon chart
like
or
a
something?
Game Boy. A
She
type
brings out the
chart,
whole
yeah.
chart. It's like Pepe Sylvia from Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Just there's lots
Ooh.
of like connections and everything.
Oh,
Love it.
good times.
Oh man. All right,
Yeah.
well, Nicole, you been
Oh
playing
yeah.
anything?
Yeah, I am. So I am that. I want to swear. Can I swear? Can we bleep it out? Can I?
It's
Can
been
I swear?
5
Gotta
minutes.
wait?
I think we need 5
Damn
more
it.
minutes.
Damn
Yeah.
it!
Well,
I'll
it's
come
too late.
back
It's
to
gone.
it in 10
It's there.
minutes. Right. So, I'm that B word. There we go. I got around it. And
Yes.
Which one?
and I decided to prepay for Avowed early because
Yeah, it's fine.
I'm that person. And so I'm really enjoying it actually. So I said a while back, like a few weeks ago on here, that I think Obsidian. My brain is stuck on Skyrim. I did this the other day with my friend actually. Obsidian is somewhat better at making Bethesda games than Bethesda. It depends really. And
Mhm.
so I said that like Avowed could have the potential to go against the next Elder Scrolls. Only because if the next Elder Scrolls is anything like Starfield, then I have not very high hopes just because of how just meh it felt. The thing that is so great about Avowed at the moment, without getting into too much spoiler territory, I didn't play any of the previous games in the Pillars of Eternity series at all. I watched some recaps and just went straight in. But it's the immersion is great. I'm bumping into things on the way to like main quests, or I'm just farting around exploring and finding side missions. I just logged on to this Zoom call from the most incredible side mission that I bumped into, and like there was some nefarious stuff going on, and I was like, you know what, I just want to kill everyone. Like I don't trust these people at all. I just want to kill everyone. So I went in and killed absolutely everyone, and then my teammates were like, oh hey, like that was a pretty good idea actually, like good job finding this place and killing everybody. We solved that problem preemptively. And I'm like, amazing, now let's see how it bites me in the bum later. So it's excellent. I've had a couple side quests where they're like the best thing. The main storyline is quite predictable in a way, as are most fantasy stories. They always have the same kind of same points that they always hit, plot points. But yeah, this game has surprised me in a lot of ways. And the voice actor, Brandon Keener, who plays Garrus Vakarian,
Hey.
is your teammate, your first main teammate, Kai. And the other day I did a TikTok where I was like, please tell me he's romanceable. And then everyone in the comments was like, let me hold your hand while I tell you this. And that he's not a romanceable option. And I was like, no, because he's so Garrus. And yeah, I think that the chemistry that he has with you as a character is so Mass Effect in its feeling. It's giving me what I wish Dragon Age the Veilguard gave me in terms of the fun banter and arguments between teammates. Like when you go around Mass Effect and you decide to take Liara and Javik somewhere, and then they just start bickering because Javik doesn't care, and Liara is just, she's always wondering about things, and Javik just shoots her down, being like, yeah, no, I'm just gonna shoot all your dreams down. Yeah, bye the goddess. Yeah, Avowed slaps. I'm really enjoying it. Is it like a 10 out of 10? No, but you know what? It fills the void of Dragon Age and Elder Scrolls Starfield. So thank you.
Is it a nice mid-7?
I'd say it's like 7, 8. Yeah, around there. It's pretty good. It's gonna and it's on Game Pass, so you don't even have to pay any extra to enjoy it. So go ham on Tuesday. So
Yeah, fair enough.
I completely forgot that game came out. I completely forgot.
And
then I kept getting advertisements for it all over my social media. Like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, it technically comes out in 2 days, right? It's just early right now, early access.
Yeah, I just
Oh,
paid
right.
20 quid to play it early. Because I'm impatient. So
yeah,
but
fair.
I don't regret it. So
That's good. Yeah. I actually have played something mostly just last night.
Let's go, 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, I know. I decided like, hey, I like the idea of the game Tiny Terry's Turbo Trip, I believe is what it was called.
Explain.
Yeah. Explain.
Basically, you are this creature. I cannot describe it any other way. You are a blob.
Hell yeah.
It's a very artistic type of game, but it's very like wacky and has slight physics-based movements. It kind of, a good way of explaining it is kind of is like Simpsons Hit and Run, in that you could just jump into any vehicle and just start driving.
Amazing.
You don't kick them out. They are just driving.
Okay.
There's they have their own language, just babbles, and it is a very weird game. You want to take your car to space.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
What?
Okay.
What?
Sounds great.
I'm not gonna, Gabe.
Exactly.
You come in with like, I love it. I love that our gracious leader it plays the weirdest games. Like, can we rely on Gabe to be playing the newest, games that are really really popular? No, Gabe's gonna pull out the weirdest,
The most
strangest
obscure
options,
thing.
the most
Yeah,
obscure things,
it
and I
is.
love it.
It is actually a fun game solely
Yeah.
because you could just mess around and just be totally fine.
What platforms
Just
is it on?
it is on. I believe it's on. What was it?
What was it called again? Tiny
Tiny
Terror
Ter
T?
Tiny
When he
Terry's
started
Turbo
Tiny
Trip.
Terry, I assumed it was a Brooklyn Nine-Nine reference. So really, I did not
Huh.
expect it to go the way it did.
I thought of Bortle. I was thinking like Tiny Tina or something, like some
I
kind of
thought
Yeah.
I was
offshoot.
thinking that as well. Yeah. So
Steam
Tiny Terry's
Turbo Trip.
Turbo Trip. Right, I'm checking it out.
Quadruple T.
Steam, PlayStation, and Switch.
Quadruple T.
No
So
Okay.
Xbox.
Xbox isn't on the list.
Nope.
It is
Classic.
No
not.
Xbox.
I mean, to be fair, the
Ah,
game only just released a couple days ago, so
well, fingers crossed.
yeah,
I get it over here. If not, I'm just gonna have to wait for my boyfriend to give me back my laptop, so that I can, enjoy it because he stole that from me. He's
yeah,
only playing Avowed, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I want to play Avowed on your laptop." And then I was like, "I don't think it can run it. The laptop's too old now. So suck it. Gonna have to buy your own PC and give me back mine so I can play all the weird, obscure stuff that Gabe keeps telling us about." So
But
yeah.
just
That's
pull it out
fair.
of his pockets.
yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, it is
Oh
something.
man.
But hey, I know Nicole's just gonna stay out of this because the state of play happened.
Yeah. Wait. Ashton, did you
Oh
say what you were
yeah,
playing?
Oh, no, Ashton didn't. Yeah.
oh
What have
yeah.
you been
No,
I
playing?
don't play video games.
Yeah. What did you play?
what have you played, Ashton?
Yeah.
Uh, I just
Anything
been playing a little
special?
bit of Final Fantasy 14.
Oh, okay.
Fair
Still
enough.
going with that.
Getting
Good,
back
good.
into it. I'm at the Storeblood expansion right
Good.
now,
Okay.
so got a while to go, but that's it.
Okay.
So
I do need to
um,
jump into those. I've never gone through them, and you will not stop talking about them. So
all the Final Fantasies, 'cause
yeah,
there's a lot of them.
There's quite a few Final Fantasies. I'm not sure.
There's
I'm
quite
only
a few.
27. I got plenty of time on my clock. We're good.
I
We're good.
actually I am working on. I've played the first one.
Yep.
Well, I've played a lot of them, but I started doing a thing where I'm going to play all of them, and so I've already done the first one, and I mean to make a video on it at some point, but I'm going to go through all of them eventually, but it's going to take my life
Yeah.
to do it.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
But 14 is a great time. You don't have to play
Mhm.
any of the other ones. Just jump right into 14.
Yeah.
It's a
Ah,
good time if
okay.
you're looking for it. For those of you at home and anybody here who's even remotely interested in like good RPG stories, 14 is more of a JRPG first and an MMO second is kind of how you describe it because the main story is really what people play it for. Whereas like if you play like WoW, a lot of the time you're like people like the story and the lore and stuff, but you're mostly playing it for like the raids and joining like guilds and stuff. But while those are in 14 and are an important aspect of it, you play and remember 14 because it's got a really, really well connected story throughout all the expansions. So if you're
Yeah.
interested in
Yeah.
that, it's really, really good. But Gabe is correct. There
State of
was a
play.
state of play. And we're gonna give
Yeah.
some quick reactions because it, existed.
Yeah.
It gave
happened.
some things, I
Yeah,
guess.
I didn't watch it, but
Yeah.
I watched you guys reacting to watching it.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like the state of play these past like few years have just not been great. Like they've existed and they've like filled voids, but that's about it. Like I don't know about you, but like oh, I love how yeah, no, Nicole's right in that I like the weird games because I did do an article on PSX Extreme on like things that I did like that were revealed and realizing it now is most of them were very weird. But before that, did either you two Ashton or Sam have anything that you liked about it?
I took
Yeah, I
I
mean,
took
yeah.
note of a couple of games. I don't know about
Yeah.
you, Ashton.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly don't think it was that bad. It
No.
was just like we got some updates for things that people are going to be excited for, and then we got maybe I think one really big game here, obviously
Yeah.
being Saros from Housemarque, their next game after
Hmm.
Returnal. Like, of course, that's the big, thing, and that's a pretty big deal. Didn't really show much anything. We
Anything.
got the sense that it's like a roguelike again, and it very much gave Returnal vibes, but with
Hmm.
a new setting, a new main character, a new like kind of almost like style to it. So we'll see what happens with that. I know people really die for Returnal. I really want to play Returnal. I haven't played it yet, but I'm glad that they seem to be thriving as a
Yeah.
studio. But then otherwise, I mean, like a lot of the other stuff was either small stuff, which will hit for some people or won't, and then like release dates. Like we got the Metal Gear Solid Delta release date, the Borderlands 4 release date.
Yeah.
So I mean, those are
I
cool, I
do
guess. But
I do want to say thank you, Sam, because so I don't watch the state of plays very often because I
Mhm.
am an Xbox person, and a lot of the time it's just stuff that I can't even play. But occasionally, twice now, the last time was a couple years ago, they'll put something up there that I can play. So last time it was Alan Wake 2. I have no idea that they were doing a trailer for it, so that was absolutely shocking. And this time I wasn't paying any attention. I was playing Wingspan. And then Sam messaged the chat saying, "Well, Nicole should be happy that there's new Lies of P stuff coming." And
yeah,
I
yeah,
immediately
yeah, yeah,
was like, "What? What?" I like practically
yeah,
flipped everything, like
yeah.
stopped doing anything. My friend who I was playing Wingspan with, I was like, "We need to go over to YouTube right now." And I went straight there, watched the Lies of P trailer, lost our minds. It's I'm not gonna lie, it's my most anticipated DLC.
Mhm.
And like it will probably be like my game of the year type situation if we count releases doing a big DLC as game of the year like the
Yeah.
Game Awards did.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm so excited. It takes place in the past, and a bunch of characters who are like already gone because it's now in the past. You're gonna see them now because you only see their outcome. Now you get to like live it. So I am big excited. Thanks, Sam, for atting me in the Discord because I jumped on it so fast. So I did
I,
watch
j- I,
one thing.
I as soon as I saw the Pinocchio, I was like, oh, I know someone who would like this. So there you go.
I love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Out of all the ones that were shown, there were only like four or maybe five that I think I like. I was just looking on the Discord chat because I was talking to everybody on it. Split Fiction, I'll buy it day one.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
Oh yeah, you guys mentioned that I had like a
yeah,
shrine to Joseph Fares after the Split Fiction thing
I
came
bet,
up
I bet
too.
you do
Yeah.
somewhere.
yeah.
I should. I put it right next to my Alan Wake shrine.
One is Sam Lake, and then the other one is Joseph Ferris, and they're just side by side. Like this, there's just candles that you light
I
every
am
single.
the waitress.
Yeah, yeah. You are Rose Marigold. Yeah, I liked. Oh, I liked A Way Out. I really liked A Way Out. Actually, I really, really did. It Takes Two was good. Not as good as A Way Out. But
Really?
Split
I'm the
Fiction looks
opposite.
interesting. Yeah, I think with A Way Out and everything, with like the relationship between the two characters, and then what happened in the ending, which I won't get into. I really like that, and I was not expecting it. It Takes Two was good for more gameplay wise, story
Hmm.
wise. Nah. But
Mm.
Split Fiction looks interesting. It's a whole different thing where you flip in between two different worlds, and that looks interesting. But I just think that Joseph Ferris is like one of the most like passionate people in the industry right now. You can just tell it in like any of the interviews that he's been in. My favorite is obviously, what happened at the game. Ashton, can we swear now? Is enough time passed?
Yes.
Fuck the Oscars. Like, that's just an iconic moment. That's just such an iconic moment. I love it. He's
I
just
love the
so
Jeff
passionate
Keighley
about
like
it.
crumbles every time Joseph Fares is on stage. It's always my favorite thing.
It's just like I love it so much. But it's just that guy just oozes energy and passion, and I just love it. So I'm more happy to support
You
someone
don't have
like that.
children, go get some.
No,
What a guy.
words to live by.
Yeah.
The other ones I saw was Darwin's Paradox, which Gabe, I don't know. I'm assuming that's one that you like the
Yeah.
look of. That just
Yeah.
looks interesting. It just looks
Is
fun.
it weird and
Yeah.
quirky, like indie vibe?
Yeah, you basically like play as an
Yeah.
octopus trying to escape a fish processing plant.
Yep.
Oh, I love it.
And you can camouflage yourself, and it's kind of like Little Nightmares. It
It
has like the similar kind of like vibes to it. But that looks interesting. I like
yeah.
that one.
Amazing.
Yeah. A lot of people have described it also like in kind of a similar way of like Odd World.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I can
I
see
see
that.
that.
I can see it.
Yeah.
Another one that I like the look of was the Midnight Walk. That
Mhm.
interests me because all of the animations is made out of clay. and it has like this stop motion look to it. It's a horror game where it's like this weird like Tim Burton kind of like art style to it. That looks interesting. I'm interested in
Yeah.
that. Abiotic factor as well for the co-op aspects. Me and my friends are always looking for new co-op games to play. That looks interesting. And then I've also put down Metal Eden, and I can't remember what that looks like. So we're gonna forget about that one because
Fair, yeah.
I ain't got a clue what it looks like. I'm gonna have to like look it up, but it's
That's
there, so
fine.
it must be
Yeah.
something interesting. Um, but yeah, no, I completely forgot what that
Yeah,
looks like.
fair.
So,
I mean, I guess for the PlayStation side here, I do want to point out just the weirdness of having a remaster of Days Gone.
oh
Kind of
God, let's not.
feels a
Mhm.
I saw
little
that. I was like, what are you guys
Yeah.
talking
is it a
about?
little too late for that? And like, there's been some, discussion online about how
Yeah.
it looks because it looks very much like nothing has been touched up at all.
But it's good. It's
But
good
like,
for a
Yeah.
it's
number of
interesting to
reasons,
see
though.
Days Gone coming back as like a
Yeah,
thing that we all thought was pretty much Sony didn't want anything to do with it
yeah.
anymore.
Yeah.
Moved Sony Ben off of it, like, but now they're doing a remaster of it to, I guess, give it a second chance. I don't
Yeah.
know.
But
Good
that's
idea.
good though, because if people buy the remaster, then the likelihood of a sequel is high.
Hmm.
And that's what people want. People want the sequel. There was obviously
Yeah.
the pitch that they had a while back where they pitched like new
Yeah.
ideas and then Sony rejected it. Now a
Mhm.
remaster's coming out. People buy it, which I'm a bit iffy on. You can't yet sure if you want to see a sequel, then definitely buy it so that Sony knows for a fact that you want it. But at the same time, don't support these remasters where
Yeah.
there's absolutely no need for them in the first place. So I'm a bit 50-50 on it, if I'm honest with you.
We actually had a
No.
discussion about that a
Yeah.
couple episodes ago
Yep.
about
Yeah.
remasters and
Yeah.
remakes, and we brought up uh the I'm blanking on his name now. Who just left PlayStation?
Shuei
Jim
Yoshida.
Ryan?
Yeah, Yoshida came out in an interview and talk about these remasters and how they don't actually pull anything away from it, so it's just a way to make more money and give new games a chance to be made because they're making money off of the
Mhm.
remaster. And so there's really not, his argument is that there's really not like any negative reason to not do it. And in this case, it could maybe, if it sells, bring Days Gone back from the dead. So
Now,
like maybe that'll work, but I mean, all
Hopefully.
two of you who really like Days Gone, go buy it, please.
yeah,
Like,
I
you want to support it?
okay,
Like, you
so
gotta do
like
it.
so for me, I'm very like iffy on whether I want to buy it, mostly because of I don't think he's associated with Ben's studio anymore, but the game's director,
Oh, that
he was
guy.
an asshole.
He was, yeah,
I
Oh,
yeah.
mean,
really?
like, well, like, so when the game started getting like positive like reactions, and it was after the game was going on sale a lot, and like pretty much one of his like big statements that he said was, if you liked the game, buy it at full fucking price.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
like, I'm like,
Okay.
Not everyone
I
can afford to
don't.
do
It's
that,
not how
darling.
sales work,
Yeah,
dude. Like, that's not
yeah.
how
I was
I'm
sales
like,
work.
thankful someone's bought the
mm,
game.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
you weren't going to get that purchase, bro.
no,
Like they bought it 15 because that's what they wanted to buy it at. You weren't going to get them to
yeah,
buy it at 70 or 60.
I
yeah,
bought
That's
it
weird.
for zero. I bought it
yeah,
for zero.
Exactly.
It was
That's what I
completely
bought it
free.
for. Zero.
yep,
I didn't
yeah.
do it at all.
But
So,
yeah, was that all, Sam? That you for the state of play?
Yeah, to be fair, I there's one thing that I'll just quickly mention. I really miss E3.
Me
I
too.
Hmm.
never went to go to one. I always wanted to go to one when I was a kid. June
Yeah.
rolls around, summer comes in, you're not at school anymore, and then E3 gets announced and you watch it all and you think, my God, look at all these games that my mum will never buy me. And it was just
yeah.
so good. It was so good. It was just a
Yeah.
massive collaboration.
Yeah,
And then COVID happened and everything just got really messed up.
I'm
And now everything's online.
interested. I'm interested in how I what was it? I icon is gonna be. That is that's also ESA made, and from the sounds of it, I we know that Xbox is supporting it. They've flat out said that they are. But they also note other industry leaders in like their press release, and that included acknowledgement of Sony and Nintendo of America. So it's hard to say exactly what it's going to be because they're not trying to mask. Because the one thing that I had an issue with E3 was it tried to mask being this thing that was more for a corporate entity as this like as this event, trying to mask it behind like being for gamers when in reality it was more or less for press and for like just general acknowledgement and collaboration.
Yeah.
Which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's just one of those things where that's why it ends up like with a lot of those like compilations of like cringy moments at E3.
Yeah.
It's because it's not really made for that. They're not masking that with iIcon. At least it doesn't look like they are. So I'm interested to see how it's going to play out, and I'm more expecting something that is going to be a little bit more, I guess, professional wise with that. But yeah,
We'll have to see. We'll have to see.
Yeah, exactly.
You mentioned
But that we're getting a little off topic from the thing. We might that might have to be its own podcast because there's a lot that we could talk about with these different events.
Yeah.
How E3 used to be, Jeff Keighley, state of plays, Xbox developer
Game
direct. Like
Awards
there's
and
so
stuff
much
like that.
that we could get into that we definitely gonna have to maybe, we're gonna have to make that a podcast topic at some point down the line. But for now, this state of play kind of feels like just another state of play. Got some cool stuff.
Yeah.
Got some
another state
regular
of play
stuff,
without Bloodborne.
Yeah.
Another state of play without Bloodborne, which
the
brings
Bloodborne
me
Reddit
to the idea of dead gaming franchises. Because as much as I don't want to acknowledge it, Bloodborne came out in 2015. It's been a decade. It might be dead, y'all. This Bloodborne might be a dead franchise. I don't know. And hopefully that's wrong, but we're going to have to get into the discussion of these dead franchises and whether they should be brought back, whether they shouldn't be brought back, or even if they're dead at all. So I think it'll be nice to go ahead and start with the ones that we know are coming back or have come back, because these would be sort of start with the success stories, but these don't always end up as success stories. But at least recently we have seen a revival of a lot of franchises. I mean, we were just talking about the state of play, and we've got two different dead franchises that have come back. Days Gone, evidently. I mean, it's got this remaster coming out, so I guess it's not technically dead yet. And then also we got another second trailer for Onimusha, which, hadn't got a game for decades at this point, and now has a new release that's being brought back from the dead. But there's been a multitude of other gaming franchises that have been brought back or are coming back in certain ways. And I'm curious to you guys if you have any game franchises in particular that have come back recently, or are confirmed coming back through trailers or new games that you're interested in or glad that has been brought back.
Well, I mean, like, this is gonna sound weird because, like, for me, I'm known as like this PlayStation person, but I'm glad Fable is coming back.
Yay! Yeah.
Like, I mean, granted, like, I started on PlayStation, but we went with Xbox 360, so I did get that. Like, I got into Fable 2, and like, I liked the game. Heck, I even liked Fable 3.
You me a Team Fable 3 here. I love it. I'm so glad.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, I'm glad that Fable is coming back. Yeah. Although I'm still not sure exactly how it's going to transcribe into how it's going to be now. But like that's a good thing. Yeah.
I'm pretty excited as well. I and this thing we talked about it last time about things that we're excited to come out in the future, and I think there's a lot of franchises that keep coming back, and sometimes like like very quickly, Psychonauts. I wouldn't call it like a franchise. They had one game on the original Xbox, and then they did a really good sequel in the last few years, and that was fantastic. And that all that time actually like really helped improve the game. They really like made something magnificent. But like with Fable, it's been so long, and they really like flubbed it with the last. Was that they did something Connect, didn't they? That I didn't even look at. I don't know what the hell that was. I didn't pay a single bit of attention to that. That was silly. But yeah, I just think that I'm glad Fable's coming back. I don't think that they could ruin it any more than they already tried with the Connect. So I have decent hopes for this, but who knows?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Sticking with Xbox a little bit, there's also I mean, Perfect Dark is on the way. Any thoughts on Perfect Dark coming back?
Me over here never playing either Fable or Perfect Dark.
I haven't played Perfect Dark.
Just like,
I've played for the record, I've played Fable 3. That's it. And I've never played Perfect Dark. But Perfect Dark is clear, like the way it looks is super like unique. It looks like it's coming back as like this really cool sci-fi spy action thing that is definitely separated from like the 90s style that the old one has, and it looks pretty cool. And we actually have gameplay for it, which is like pretty impressive.
I still don't trust it. It's been coming for a long time.
I don't trust anything Xbox does at this point, but you know.
To be fair, I don't either. The Avowed's looking pretty good, so I've got some high hopes there. I'm enjoying it so far, but I mean, it's been in like, hasn't it been like development hell forever? They've been like trying to bring it back, and it's just not working. I just wanted to say as well, actually, because I saw it on the list, and I was like, I'm glad we're mentioning this. And I'm sure that Sam will jump in on this, maybe actually, because Sam, you're a late comer to this, but Alan Wake was actually originally an Xbox exclusive.
Yes, it was.
And that came back. And yeah, if it wasn't for like Control and them weaving Alan Wake into Control, I don't know if Alan Wake would have been able to get the funding and the big comeback that it did. So I'm really grateful that these developers keep fighting for their games, because not everything is lucky enough to get such a good comeback. And Alan Wake came back so strong that it got new people like Sam involved, and that makes me really, really happy because of how damn good it is. It's just a cult classic that wasn't going to go anywhere. I was like, Alan's going to be stuck in that lake forever. He ain't getting out. And now everything's
that's the third game, Alan Wake stuck in the lake.
It's all rhyming and silly poetry. My favorite poet, Thomas Zane. Wink Sam to that reference. But yeah,
I understood that reference.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, I really like the way that it came back, and it proved that you can do something so much later and still have the same love and passion and make it good. So they've fully revived that. Alan Wake ain't going nowhere.
Hell yeah.
Stuffed. But Fable might not be great. Perfect Dark might not be great. But I mean, I'm still gonna play them. Probably gonna be day one Game Pass. So yeah, not gonna cost me anything. So yeah.
All right.
Exactly.
So we also have I mean, for me, Okami just got announced a sequel. That game, I mean, that franchise last had something on DS with Okamiden, which wasn't even made by Clover. So like it was completely separate from the original studio. So if you're considering games from just the original studio, it's Okami, and that was it because they shut the studio down weeks later. So really cool to see a team and a mind who created something like Okami actually be able to finally come back after all these years and make something new. I can only imagine what that game's going to look like on modern systems with the art style that they're going for. Because Okami already looks incredible just because the art style is so timeless. But now the things you could do with that are going to be super interesting. But then, I mean, Metroid Prime 4, and it's one of those games that I have a hard time classifying in my mind when it comes to a revival, right? Because I would consider it a revival of the franchise. Prime 3 came out on the Wii, and it's been a dead, series since till Prime 4 comes out. But then Prime 4 has been in development hell for so long that if it never comes out, would it be considered just dead again, And there's a couple of games that are like that I wonder if either their release or the difficulty of making them could end up killing this franchise anyway. And I think one good example of that is Saints Row, where it got its revival and then immediately killed the games franchise again. Like immediately.
I don't want to
I-
talk about it.
It became so
Sam, do you have
far-fetched and
experience with
fun.
Saints Row? You gotta help me out here.
And did
I love
that.
Saints Row. I love Saints Row so much. 1 and 2 are so good, especially the second one. I can give or take 3 and 4. Get Out of Hell, I just pretend doesn't exist.
Yeah.
That reboot, I don't even want to talk about it. It
My
upsets me.
boyfriend was so
Yeah.
excited about it, and I went, "Darling, look, calm down. Start to lower your expectations. This is not going to be great."
Do you remember when the announcement trailer was like there were rumors and there were whispers and like, oh my God, it's a new Saints Row, and then it was revealed, oh my God, it might come out and the announced trailer might be on Gamescom, and I remember thinking like, oh, this is really really cool, and then I watched the announcement trailer and I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, I was just
Yeah.
so just
Yeah.
like. It was just like, okay, so you listened and then you didn't listen, and then now it's like Watch Dogs 3.5 or something like that. I don't know. It just,
Oh,
yeah,
Watch
and
Dogs.
Yeah.
I played the entire game. I really wish I
Did
didn't.
you?
It
You
still
poor
sits,
thing.
it still sits on my shelf, and I look at it and I tease my friend with it sometimes. I'm like, listen, you can give me Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 and I'll give you this. And he's like, get it away from me right now.
Yeah.
But
No, that's fair.
Saints Row just makes me so sad. But I don't think they can ever come back. I don't
No.
think it can
Yeah.
ever
I
come
think
back.
it's dead. It is
Like,
it had its
Actually,
chance, it died.
Yeah.
speaking of, I didn't even think about this because I was thinking about it like we put it in like we have a document that's in the success section, but I wouldn't call it a success anymore, which is Tomb Raider just keeps finding new ways to kill itself.
Yeah.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I mean, so like the original games were good, and then they went in the bin. The developers were kind of done, so they tried every way possible to just end it. And then they had that revival, where it was the 360 era, that generation, and she was very, very her boobs were round, so that was progress, but they were very big,
Not
and
triangles
it was
anymore.
it was very and it was very
What do you mean they're not triangles?
sexual. Yeah, they're
0
no
out of
longer
10.
yeah. And so I was like, all right, yeah, and I enjoyed it. They were fun. They weren't like, amazing, but they were really I enjoyed them as a kid. And then when they did the 2013 one, I
The
was like,
boobs or
oh,
the games?
the games, but
Okay.
boobs are pretty good too, but like, the games overall, I mean.
Fair enough, fair enough.
And although that Tokyo dress that Lara wears in Tomb Raider Legend was peak boobage. But 2013's Tomb Raider, I was so excited for that, and I was really enjoying it. I thought it was a great game. I really enjoyed the kind of reboot of her story. And then the second one was like, okay. And then the third one, it was like, what happened? Did you have a plan? Like, what are you doing? And I'm not gonna lie, I played the first one, loved it. Played the second one, thought it was okay. And then I think I made it like 4 hours into the third one, and then I was like, nope, this I don't know what this is, but it wasn't for me. And now there's like, and they did that film that was like mid, and now what are they doing? Tomb Raider's just always kind of just there in the background, ready to be used again, but I feel like they just missed so hard, and they've just killed it again essentially as a franchise. So I mean,
Yeah. I mean, I like Tomb Raider, but yeah, no, it's definitely one of those things where the only reason that its current games are successful, and when I say current, I'm meaning the most recent two, which is just a collection of the old games.
oh, they're so bad.
It's fair enough.
It's just a reskin. It's not even like
Yeah.
done good. The controls are like, I can't play the controls anymore. It's, oh my god.
Yeah, but I
don't-
mean, like that's fair. I haven't personally played them just because I'm not
Yeah.
really. I have nostalgia for the Legend and that line of games, so
Yes.
that's my nostalgia
yeah.
for a Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
But I still like the IP because it's just it's a good game. It's a good series. But yeah, no, they definitely choose some weird decisions and do some weird things that just hinder it from being actually what it could be.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
certainly been one that has been revived.
A
A
lot.
good constant. It feels like they're gonna keep doing it because what was like a year ago, Crystal Dynamics released like the new design for her, which is just the same design from the recent games, but now she's wearing a blue tank top instead of a white one. So it's like, oh, whoa, watch out! Oh, whoa,
The
she's
same
blue now.
tank top
Like
from
it's
forever
the
ago.
old school.
Whoa.
But like I don't know. I really want to give those the reboots a shot because they always gave me Uncharted vibes, but more serious. Like
Oh,
they
they're
took
good.
themselves way more
The first
seriously,
one.
and I think I'd be really down for that.
Yeah.
But I have to give them a shot one day. But we'll have to see. Another franchise that has it's I guess you could consider it dead or was dead for a while because From Software stopped making them. But Armored Core coming back with Armored Core 6 after they got so much success with the Soul series, I think is a really, really good example of how going away from something you are known for or that you have experience in or you've pumped out a lot of before to go do something else, become successful in that can give you the opportunity to revisit that old franchise and try to bring it back with your new knowledge because Armored Core 6 now, I mean, people are down for it. Like if when Armored Core 7 eventually happens, people are going to be there for it. And they're not there for this in the same mass as like an Elden Ring or, whatever the next Souls title will be. But the success of those games allowed From Software to say, you know what? We're going to go back to Armored Core. We're going to make this because we want to make it, not because somebody told us to make it. And I just think that's really cool. And I think that actually can apply to another game franchise that in our Google Doc here, I put under, I think, the dead section. I did. But maybe this could be a similar situation with Killzone. Because since Gorilla now, obviously, just making Horizon now,
Yeah.
that's kind of their thing.
They,
I wonder, I know
yeah.
Sony's kind of like over them, so I could see them strangleholding them to just being a Horizon developer. But I wouldn't mind if we saw Guerrilla maybe make a third Horizon game and then say, you know what? These three games have been massively successful. Sony's making side spin-offs with it with Legos and VR and stuff. Let's take some time and try to bring Killzone back. And maybe that could be the shooter multiplayer game that Sony's been looking for this whole time, right?
Mhm.
They keep trying to bring out Concord and Marathon and all these other live service games. Maybe Killzone could fill that niche for them. I don't know, but Killzone to me was always a really, really cool franchise that just was missing a little bit of a spark, missing a little bit of a soul that it needed. Like it had a really cool concept, but it never fully like got there in the end.
Yeah.
It never really hit those Halo levels. But maybe Gorilla could take a break and come back with Killzone. But
Yeah.
as of right now, ever since the PS4 game, it's kind of effectively dead.
Yeah, I noticed that, which granted, I'm pretty sure they did blatantly say that they're not going to be making another Killzone, but obviously opinions and decisions can change.
Yeah.
I'd like to see the older PlayStation IPs get some love because there's a lot of them, and for some reason they don't do anything with them. One of the things that I will say that I'm glad is getting revived is Croc. Like the fact
Croc.
that it's
I love
actually
Croc.
and the fact that it's even like the original developer is also wild because it's being done by Argonaut Games, which are the people that made Croc. And it's just like so
Hell yeah.
nice to see that they are going back to that. Like it's just
And that's
nice.
one of those remasters that they're adding new stuff to it
Yep.
too, which is really
Yep.
nice.
And then with that, it's also like, yeah, there's new stuff. And fact of the matter, I just like I also like that they're very supportive of what's it called? GOG. Like that's where you're gonna be able to buy a PC version of it. They're, from my understanding, not releasing on Steam, at least at this moment. They are only releasing it on GOG.
I will say, this is a side note, Nicole.
Yeah.
When Alan Wake 2, I don't know when it's going to happen, but when Alan Wake 2 releases on Steam, if and when, I know it's kind of pigeonholed on Epic right now.
Yeah, because
You gotta let me know,
funding they needed.
because you gotta let me know because then that's when I might finally pull the trigger and play the Alan Wake 1 and 2. Because I'm somewhat interested after playing Control. I did play the DLC and I had no idea what the fuck was going on. 'Cause I don't know who the fuck Alan Wake is. I don't give a fuck about this man. But I played the DLC
My
and I
poor
was like, okay,
man,
they're
my poor
doing something
writer.
here that I
My
think
name's
could
Alan
be
Wake. I'm a
cool,
writer.
but I have no idea what's happening. So
Aw.
I'm vaguely interested. But if if Alan Wake 2 isn't on Steam, there's a very low chance I play it because I have all my stuff at one place. I
That's
don't like
fair.
having it all
That's
over the
why I
place.
don't jump to
So,
PlayStation, because I want my achievements. I know it sounds silly, but I
Yeah,
love
yeah, I get it,
looking
I
at it
get
at
it.
the end of the year and being able to track all my hours and all my achievements and be like, damn, look at those stats. They're fun.
But you get the platinum trophies though. The platinum trophies
Shut
are
up,
shiny.
Sam.
They're
It's not the
nice,
same
you
thing.
know.
But
They're
you want it
nice.
noted that
They're-
Xbox would started the achievement thing, so
Oh, yeah.
like
Yeah,
you
and
know.
PlayStation made it better.
You
I
get the
feel so
little noise,
alive.
and it goes like, "Bling," and you get
Yeah.
a
It's
platinum
like an actual
trophy.
trophy,
It's
you know, and it's
yeah, it's nice. It's
See,
nice.
we
Yes,
call them.
yes.
See, that's how you know that PlayStation's taken over because we call them trophies. We don't call them achievements anymore. That's
I
crazy.
call them
That's crazy.
achievements. I'm
That's
actually like,
fine.
offended. I need you guys to just like
Do
stop
you know what?
coming
Here,
for
I'm
me.
gonna give you a
I'm so
layup, Nicole.
alone.
I'm gonna give you a layup. I'm gonna try to help Xbox out here a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna try to help them get some credibility, get some love.
I just
right?
want to say I'm not like Team Xbox. I've got one and I'm not abandoning it anytime soon. So I'm
That's what I'm
sticking
saying. You gotta
around.
have something to play on it, right? So I'm gonna give you some options.
avowed.
Okay, Xbox has a couple franchises that they could try to bring back. I'm wondering if any of them, would catch your eye.
Trying to throw me
Such
a bone here.
as,
All right, let's go.
I don't know, where the hell is I don't know why I put Splinter Cell as an Xbox thing. I don't know why it's such green with Xbox. It's just
Oh
green.
my God,
But
it's
let's
just
just hold on. Let's just
Ubisoft,
start with
man.
Splinter Cell. Where the hell is Splinter Cell?
Ubisoft, what
What's
you
going
do?
on with Splinter Cell?
I've got the original games in a box next door. I love them so much. Yeah, I'm
What-
not gonna
what is
lie.
Splinter Cell? What is Splinter Cell?
Nicole,
Okay,
where is
Sam.
Splinter Cell?
What is Splinter Cell?
Yeah.
Where is it?
What
Where?
is or where is?
What is
What
it?
you? What is
What
it?
is
Is
it?
what you're
What
saying.
is
That's
it?
a disturbing
What is it?
thing.
What is
you
it?
play as Sam Fisher. He's an excellent spy. And you
Who?
do stealth, and it's really fun, and I love it. And so,
Sorry, Solid Snake. What?
I'm gonna
Okay,
slap
now
you.
now you're
Um,
just taking the piss.
I know a little bit, yeah.
So no, I love it. Absolutely roast me. It's fantastic. So yeah, I really enjoyed Splinter Cell growing up. It was my first go at stealth with my dad and I'd play it together. We'd take turns. I sucked obviously, but so I mainly backseat.
It was
gamed
Xbox
him.
exclusive, right? At the
I think
beginning.
so. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's only been on PlayStation.
And the annoying thing is that I remember a few years ago, Ubisoft did like a cheeky little
Mm.
Sam Fisher thing. They were like, "Hey, Sam Fisher," and everyone was like, "Oh my God, Splinter Cell's coming back!" And it's like, no, he is now a playable character in Rainbow Six Siege. Now I love Rainbow Six Siege, so I was like, I get to play as Sam Fisher. That's great, and I love playing as Zero. He's got cameras. It's very fun. But at the same time, it's like, wow. So you've taken your IP and you've slapped it into Rainbow Six, but you won't give me Splinter Cell. Like, this is all due respect to Ubisoft, right? They got a lot of stuff that they just keep binning off for the sake, and I keep making the same argument every time, for the sake of more Assassin's Creed and more Far Cry clones, right? You canceled the sequel to Immortals Phoenix Rising. That was a fun on a bun, and then you've got bloody Splinter Cell just sitting there taking a nap. Bring it back. What are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing, Ubisoft?
Yeah.
So
Because it didn't make the money.
I
That's
know.
what it made.
It's
It
still
didn't make the
annoying.
green.
Still annoying. Yeah, whatever. But like the thing is, Ubisoft Play is now on Xbox. So like, it's part, you can get it tied into the Game Pass and everything. So like, Xbox could so easily be like, "Hey, Ubisoft, let's go." But no. So
Well, that's the thing. They've said
Yeah.
that they're making one, right? But they just haven't said anything else about it.
yeah, because they're too
Yeah.
focused on Star Wars, Avatar, and Assassin's Creed. So
And
you
apparently,
know.
I guess Assassin's Creed is like the linchpin of the entire company at this point.
It
feels
really
like.
is. It really is. It's kind of
Yeah.
sad. But hey, I mean, the only game that like catches my eye when it comes to the like list of Xbox ones is just Conquer. Like, I just want to see that orange squirrel again,
Yeah,
and
me
actually
too.
just
Where's that's the thing with Xbox right now. I feel like is that we talk shit about PlayStation right now because they do have a lot of IPs that are just kind of sitting dead that they could easily bring back and potentially make into something great. And we'll get into those in just a bit. Gabe, I'm gonna throw that to you in
Yeah.
just a bit. But Xbox does too. There's a
Mhm.
good few Xbox things that they could bring back and make hotcakes on. Banjo-Kazooie, Conquer, two rare games that they now own and could bring back and do something with, but they
Yeah.
just aren't doing anything with. Knights of the Old Republic used to be an Xbox game. Like, it used to be an Xbox only game, and then it got announced to be remade on a PlayStation showcase, and now I think it's like, I don't know if it's even still in development anymore. I think it got like canned, or the developer got taken off of it or something, but that's in limbo at this point. And
I've
like,
got another one to add to the
that's
list that I've
weird.
just remembered, by the way, and this is going to be the most obscure one, but it relates to everything else, which is Quantum Break. Xbox, you got Remedy right there. They just made a DLC in Alan Wake 2 about Quantum Break. Give me the
Quantum Break 2.
sequel. Give
Quantum
me the
Break 2.
sequel. Like,
Yeah.
oh my God. It's so annoying. And because Xbox owns the rights to Quantum Break, Remedy has to like make up these awful names that I love so much, like Timmy Breaker from bloody Quantum Break in Alan Wake 2. It's just like, oh, they're having to work around this when Xbox has like, they could just be making money. I know that Quantum Break isn't like amazing, or like to people, I think it's amazing. I love it so much, but it didn't do well, and it was more TV than anything. But like with how Remedy's doing and how much money they're making, on like, it's not a huge amount, but they're finally making money on Alan Wake and Control and everything. It's amazing. This is the perfect time to double down and for Phil Spencer to go, hey, Remedy, remember when we partnered for Quantum Break? Yeah, let's do another one of those, and let's tie Alan and Control into it and do a whole end game Marvel Cinematic Universe thing. But no.
Yeah.
Sadly, I almost kind of see a reality where Xbox partners with Remedy to make Quantum Break 2 or something like that. It comes out, it's like the best thing ever. It's super cool, it's revolutionary, whatever. And then Xbox is like, yeah, but close it down.
Close down the studio.
Yeah, like
Goodbye,
Tango.
Tango Gameworks.
I'm still
Oh,
sour
man.
about that. I'm
Me
still
too.
sour about
Yeah,
that.
Me too.
they're back,
I-
kind of. But
Kind of.
I want to throw one in. I want to throw a franchise in. Dead Rising.
Yeah.
yes,
I want it to
so
come back.
I have a question for you before you get
Okay.
into this. I have that listed under examples of not quite dead franchise. Would you consider Dead Rising dead right now? Because it did just get the new remaster, remake, whatever you want to call it.
Mhm.
It just came out. Would you consider it dead right now, or how are you feeling about it?
Yes, because a remake doesn't mean a franchise is rebooted. It just means that there is a remake of a game. That's it. Until
Yeah, I
I
think it's
actually
dead in the same
see,
way Tomb Raider's dead. I agree.
yeah, until I actually see another installment of it, then it's dead. As far as I'm concerned, it's a shame because when I replayed the second one, when I played the remake as well, remake's fine. I like it. It's fine. Some of the voice acting's weird, but overall, decent package. Second one, that's also decent as well. When I was playing these back to back, I thought to myself that, and I'm also going to be playing the third one as well, which is a whole different like kettle of fish. But when I was playing these two like back to back, there was something about them that I just really liked. Like it was the world, it was the characters, it was the setting, the psychopaths. The psychopaths are especially the standouts. Yeah, some of it's annoying. The human enemies always stun lock you, which is really fucking annoying. All the time with the guns. But the thing is that Capcom was the one that made the first Dead Rising. They gave it over to Blue Castle Games, which eventually then became Capcom Vancouver. Vancouver then completely just we're not even going to go to it. They just completely disregarded like what Dead Rising was and shot themselves in the foot. But now that the remakes come out and there is some sort of hope left, but until a new installment comes out, there is no it's a dead franchise as far as I'm concerned. I don't know if everybody obviously Nicole, you say that you agree with it. I don't know about the rest of you if you guys agree. But that's my stance on it.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, no, a remake or remaster doesn't really indicate whether or not a game is going to be rebooted. It just means that they want to make more money off of an IP that they know that they can kind of just like milk just a little bit more. And then if they do see it successful, then maybe they will. But
Yeah.
I was gonna say,
yeah.
could it be considered dead if there is like Dead Rising remake is a new release that came out in the Dead Rising franchise. It is a remake of the first game, but it is still a brand new SKU that you can go buy.
Mhm.
Would it? It gives some hope to Dead Rising fans that they will either return to the franchise or, maybe they'll remake the other ones. I don't know, but it gives some hope because there's now can be new data, new sales numbers to bring it back.
Yep.
But then like compare that with something like Metal Gear Delta, where Metal Gear, the like Delta is just a straight. Obviously, it's also a remake of Metal Gear Solid 3, but I don't know if I would consider Metal Gear a dead franchise because they're putting so much effort into it. They're putting so much work into making that game, and they've already expressed interest in making more remakes of the other games. And I would not put it past Konami to, at some point when they feel more comfortable, making a Metal Gear Solid 6, even without Kojima. Or maybe their relationship will be more repaired by that point. Maybe they'll partner up. Who knows? But like that's a franchise that there is enough evidence built up to say that this franchise is in use and will continue to be in use for a long time. Whereas something more akin to like, let's say Titanfall, they came out with Titanfall 2 and there's been radio silence since,
Hmm.
right? Like, is that game ever going to, is there ever going to be a Titanfall 3? You know, the studio is now making the Star Wars Jedi games. So, like, is that ever going to, are they ever going to come back to it? There's been no word, no sign, no news. Like,
Yeah.
that
Apex
seems to
Legends as
me
well.
more like a dead franchise because there's like nothing. There's nothing to hang on to outside of it was a good game, right?
I mean, not exactly with Titanfall because they do have Apex Legends, which does
Oh,
continue the
fair. It's in the same
Titanfall
universe, right?
universe. Yeah, yeah, and some of the
That's right.
Titanfall
I forgot about
characters
that.
like Blisk and Ash, they've come back into Apex Legends. Some of them being playable, some of them just being added to the lore. So it technically is still going on. So I wouldn't
But
really
like
consider
Titanfall as a
Titanfall.
core.
Yeah, Timefall as a core, that is pretty much. I don't want to say it's dead in the water because there were rumors of Titanfall 3, and I think there was a prototype that was worked on for like 10 months and then they canned it. But that entire world and everything that's still going on with Apex Legends, so I wouldn't really consider that to be a dead franchise as a whole, but Titanfall specifically, potentially, unless a new one comes out. But I think the main thing with Titanfall 2 is they shoved it right between COD and Battlefield, and it completely just ruined it. It ruined the chances of it, and that's just the stupidest thing in the entire world. I never understand that at all. There was one thing actually that I just wanted to quickly ask you as well about like with Metal Gear Solid. You mentioned Metal Gear Solid. I consider that to be a finished franchise, and what I mean by that is the story is done. There is no room for anything else to be added on to Solid Snake's story, Big Boss's story, whatever. The one franchise I always come back to when I think of that is Uncharted. Nathan Drake's story is done. You don't need to carry it on. They'll find a way to do it, but if you want to do it with new characters, that's fine. But because Nathan Drake is so iconic, they'll find a way to bring him back. One last adventure, whatever it is. For me personally, that doesn't need to happen. You can just do it with a completely brand new set of characters, have it set in the same universe, maybe have Sully be brought back in or whatever, and make that different. But for Metal Gear Solid and Uncharted and that sort of stuff, I consider them to be like finished franchises where the story is done. There is nothing else that you need to add on to that.
Gabe, what
Yeah.
what do you think about that idea? Because that is an
Like,
interesting concept there.
yeah. I mean, it very much depends on the type of game that it is. Like, because yeah, you could easily make another like Uncharted game with a new character, but is it really Uncharted at that point? It would just feel like it's just trying to be the next Uncharted. Even if it has the Uncharted name, people won't see it as that. And I think that kind of same thing extends with like the idea of finished franchises where, the main story's done. You don't need to continue it. They'll try and find a way, but it's probably never going to go as well as they hope that it will because people associate X, Y, and Z with X, Y, and Z. Like, I like the idea of IPs just ending where they fit to end. But, if they're successful, they're going to just continue to make them or not.
Just,
Yeah.
just in counter to that, you mentioned obviously Uncharted is not Uncharted without the cast of characters. Well, the same thing can be said for Halo.
Yep.
I was gonna say
Halo,
Halo.
Yep.
It,
Master
it
Chief is Halo.
you
Yep.
don't
There's
need more Halo games with the Master Chief,
no,
but
you
he
don't,
is Halo.
Yeah.
because you've had ODSC, you've had Reach, Halo Wars 1 and 2,
Hmm.
Spartan Strike, and the other one if you want to count that.
Assault, yeah.
Yeah, whichever one they are. I'm sure there's more out there as well, but those ones have been successful on their own without
Yeah.
having to bring Master Chief into it.
4, 5,
There's
and Infinite were an unnecessary addition, and I think it should have ended in the same way that you're saying Uncharted like ends there, and then do little sprinkles of offshoots.
Yeah.
But just don't find a way to bring it back and ruin the main thing. Yeah, 100%.
Just don't make Cortana the villain. Just don't do it. Just don't
Just
do it.
let
It's
her die.
stupid.
Just let her die.
Yeah.
That's part of the drama. Like,
Even Bungie said that's a really terrible idea like back
Yeah.
in the day.
yeah.
Anyway,
But,
we're
like-
I
getting off
wonder
topic.
about that. I wonder.
Yeah.
I wonder about that though, because there's there's an interesting dynamic you're playing around here with, right? Because I don't really know if I can say, I don't really think that we can say that a story is ever finished where the last game left off, because you never know, right? Like, I don't know if we can declare that, say, Nathan Drake's story is finished just because it wrapped up the way it did in Uncharted 4, right? You could even, because it doesn't matter where a story ends, you can always make a new story after and still make it good, right? And depending on how good it is, will change how well you want to attach it to the main series that you know and love, right? Like, it's kind of like not to get too wide scope, but the MCU, where a lot of people end it there at Endgame, right? Because it had all that build up and stuff. But the MCU is not done. Like, it is still, everything else is still connected to it and still keeps going. It's not as popular anymore. It's not as well regarded. It's not as, well kept up with as many people, but it's still going. It's not, it's not dead, and that's
Yeah.
kind of a case of them continuing with a thing that they built up for so long and don't want it to, end. But there's plenty of examples of stories and games that, each game could end in a definitive way, but then they make a new one and we are okay with it because it's a good, a good continuation. So I'm not sure that the story so much matters. Just like you can make a story with new characters, like y'all mentioned with Halo. Master Chief's story can end at 3, and Reach is still amazing. You can still make a Halo game with Reach. Or,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
there is a universe where Halo 4 is good. It just didn't happen. But just because it didn't happen
Halo 4
doesn't
was
mean it
okay.
can't happen.
Halo
You know what I
5 was
mean?
bad.
But I mean, like, to be great, to
Yeah.
be on that level. Like, just because it didn't happen doesn't mean it can't happen, and it has happened before. So, I don't know. I think that's a very interesting concept there that should be explored a little bit more.
I'm of the opinion that like you can keep milking it and make it like worse over time. I'd much rather everyone just goes out on a high note, and I don't want a franchise to go on so long that I wish it was dead. Like, that's
Yeah.
where Assassin's Creed is at for me right now. That's where Halo's at for me. I'm just like, stop. You're ruining something perfect. Like, I loved it. You did a great job. I don't mind the Assassin's Creed doing offshoots is fine to a degree. Like, Black Flag was really good. Unity, if it had come out in a better way, like without all those bugs, then it would have been better. But like, just don't make me wish it was over, because then that's when you've got a problem. They're not innovating things anymore. They're just kind of just milking it forever, and that's where I'm like, nah. And that's what Halo did for me. Like it's like Xbox went, oh, we still want money, so we're gonna keep milking this story. Master Chief ended perfectly. I don't like floating out in space in stasis, Cortana there just being like, oh yeah, peace out, see you later. Good, fine by me. Absolutely. There are so many cool books that you can't see in this camera, but they're up there, that have all these great stories that are from like the past. You could go into like Forerunner history. You could really go deep, and they're just not doing it. Instead, they're going to keep milking the Master Chief, and the TV show made the same mistake. And it's like, stop. Just because the Chief's helmet is on the front does not automatically make it good.
Yeah.
Just one thing I
Let
want
it
to
out.
add on.
Let it out.
Just one thing I kind of want to add on to that. Nicole just mentioned about you can do things that happened in the past. Gears of War is kind of doing that with E-Day, and I think that is an absolute great move, because Gears 5, never played it, probably never will. Looked at some of the stuff on YouTube. I have no idea where the rest of that story can go. And sometimes I kind of feel like it's important to go backwards to go forwards. Halo's kind of in the same position now. Infinite kind of a bit. Infinite was left on like a cliffhanger, I believe, where it was just the Master Chief, the pilot, and the weapon. I think it's called. I don't know. I've only ever played it once.
New Cortana, yeah.
Yeah, the new Cortana 2.0. Yeah, sure. And I don't really know where that whole scenarios going right now.
Nowhere.
I think it's going to be important for them to go backwards, which is where the Combat Evolved remake is the rumors are coming from about that. We're going to go back to the basics. We're going to go back to the roots, and it'll bring old fans back. New fans will come in as well, and Gears of War is also doing the same thing with that. I think that's sometimes it's important for franchises that have kind of ran their course a little bit to go
Yeah.
back to the basics or to go back to what that was before.
Actually, you completely just remind me of something that I was going to say, and I completely forgot to put it on the list because I thought, do I need to say it? But I feel like Resident Evil hit a point where it was kind of dead around 6. Wasn't fully dead, but it didn't. 6 wasn't amazing. It was kind of just too much Resident Evil at that point. Like, how many bloody playthroughs are there? Like 3 or 4 or 6 or
Four
something? I don't know.
campaigns.
Yep.
Yeah, there we go. And so, like, it's a lot of Resident Evil,
Yeah.
but I mean, a lot of bang for your buck, so I'm not going to complain too much. And I feel like it just kind of wasn't, great. And then suddenly they did Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, and then everyone was jumping back on the Resident
Great
Evil
game.
train. They were like, this is horror. And then they started coming out with the new Resident Evil 2 and the new Resident Evil 3, and it's like they managed to reinvigorate the franchise and bring in new fans, and it was fantastic. And it's just that was a back to basics. They went, hey, here's something new. We can produce good horror. Now let's go back to the original so that people who are new can experience it properly for the first time again. And it's like,
Do we remember
job.
when 6 came out and when 7 came out on like the
2012 was
time
Resident
frame?
Evil 6, and then
Say that again?
2017 was 7. So 2012 was Resident Evil 6, and then 2017 was Resident Evil 7.
So there's a solid 5 years
5
there.
years.
Yeah.
Without now it feels like we get one every year.
Yeah,
At this
every
point
year,
it feels
really,
like
yeah.
Waiting for the next
which
one.
is pretty crazy if you think
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah. They managed to pull themselves out of that mess really well. So good job then.
Yeah, they did a good job there. I would be remiss if we left this without talking about those PlayStation franchises.
Yeah.
That are dead and should come back. So I want to go ahead and throw it to Gabe for some of those franchises that you know about that you would like to see come back.
Mm-hmm.
And just your thoughts on the things that PlayStation is kind of leaving on the cutting room floor right now.
So obviously, I think that the biggest one that everyone's gonna know that I'm gonna mention is Jack and Daxter. Like it just makes no sense that they don't have that, as Jack and Daxter was one of those like mascots of theirs, because like they had a ton of mascots, and very frankly, too many. But regardless, they had a lot of mascots because they had a lot of things that they wanted to do, and Jack and Daxter kind of like was the very big like push for the PS2 and all that. It was a very massive like push for like what the console could handle, and that was a great thing for it. They haven't made a game since the what was it called, Lost Frontier, or like they haven't made a game since that one. They probably won't, because in the end, Naughty Dog is too busy remaking Last of Us for the 15th time. Yeah, exactly. But I mean, they're making a new IP.
But they're not. They're making Intergalactic.
Yes.
Like we said, they're not pulling away from Naughty Dog to make
still making
Last
new
of Us
stuff.
remastered. They're making Intergalactic.
Yes.
Somebody like other people are doing the remasters.
Yeah. But regardless, that's what they're associated with now. And then you have like obviously Sly Cooper is another one that's basically just another instance of like Jack and Daxter, where that wasn't one of their mascots. I don't know why they decided like, I'm just gonna like, we're not gonna do anything with Sly Cooper anymore. A similar thing of like developers just too busy, because it was Sucker Punch who made it, who made it popular at least. Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah,
he froze up.
Sounded like what you were having to say.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, either way, he like the developers, they're just with Ghosts of Yote, and like in the end, all the developers that have like stopped these IPs went on to make like cinematic games, which I have my own opinions on, but a lot of the games that I want to see returned can't be cinematic games, because that's just not what they were.
Yeah, Jack and Daxter don't work like that.
No,
And
exactly.
That's interesting you bring that up too, because if you think about it, Jack and Daxter, Sly Cooper, both fall under this like 3D
Mhm.
platformer style that is very common in the PS2 era. But then you go to now, and you've got Ghost of Tsushima and
Yeah,
Last of Us and Uncharted, which are very cinematic action third-person games. So they kind of both just follow the same trend that they were following before. They're just doing it in the modern day, which is
yep,
interesting. But I it's also interesting that Jack and Daxter is the only of the like three big Naughty Dog or four big Naughty Dog franchises, it's the only one that's not around. Like
yeah,
Crash Bandicoot is being, is like an actual revival at this point, thanks to Toys for Bob and Crash 4. Uncharted is still around. Like
yeah,
it doesn't have a new game yet, but it's coming. Like we all know it's coming.
yeah.
And obviously Last of Us is like the current thing, and Intergalactic's coming. So like it's the only one that's missing from Naughty Dog's catalog. And if I honestly, I feel like if you just said, "Hey, we are remaking or making Jack 4," and you slap it, like maybe slap a Naughty Dog logo on there and say, "Hey, there was a small team that started working on it with this other co-developer or something,"
Hmm.
people would be there. Like
Yeah, yeah, absolutely,
that's enough weight to throw towards that.
absolutely.
That would be interesting. Do you have any more PlayStation ones that you want to talk about, Gabe?
I mean, like, I liked Prototype, though I'm not sure
Let's
how they
go.
could actually continue it. Like,
Prototype was the best 7 out of 10 ever. Maybe even
Yeah.
6. I don't know.
yeah,
I've
yeah, that's fair.
I found
That's
it
fair.
really annoying when I played it.
Prototype, yeah.
Yeah,
It's very
so annoying.
repetitive and can
Yeah,
get really, really. It has problems. I don't see
yeah,
Prototype coming back anytime soon.
no.
But, what about the other superhero, more realistic, edgy game, Infamous? That's the bigger one,
Yeah,
right? What do we think
yeah.
about Infamous?
I mean, I'd like to see it come back, but
Yeah.
That's potential.
it's like I don't
The
know if they
Second
ever
Son, and
will.
then it just kind of disappeared.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, like I just think that it didn't do as well as they were hoping it would. So,
And
Yeah.
it's so weird because Second Son wasn't that bad. I
no.
actually kind of liked it. But like we're living in a world where Marvel and stuff is still massive. And superheroes are a big thing. Superman movie is about to come out this summer. Can't wait for that, by the way. But like, there's still a market for superhero
Mhm.
games, and that's just not being capitalized on, which I think is weird.
Also, um, I just want to mention one of the things that I'm surprised that you didn't add in was Sunset Overdrive as a dead franchise.
Well, so I
It's
thought
gonna
about Sunset
exist.
Overdrive, and the problem with that is it really a franchise? It's like a game that
Yeah,
just
that's
happened to be on
fair.
Xbox before the
That's
PlayStation
fair.
Yeah.
stuff happened.
And, it's obvious why that's one's not, though. I want to say technically they still retained Sunset Overdrive as the IP, like the developer did. So I don't know why they didn't like at least bring it to PlayStation. They might have just like
Yeah,
thought, not an audience worth it. Or
maybe. Yeah, maybe didn't want to
or
work on it.
yeah, yeah, that's possible. I mean,
It might be a
Perhaps.
quantum break situation.
yeah.
Could be that.
My camera is telling
Maybe.
me that I need to replace its battery.
Oh
So
no. It finally
Uh-oh, battery
happened
time.
while recording.
Well, I'm gonna bring up one that's really dear to my heart and that I know is probably dead forever because Insomniac is working on so many other things at this point. Spider-Man, Wolverine, Ratchet and Clank, that's their MO now. But Resistance was my shit. Back in the day, Resistance 1, 2, and 3, even the PSP game, but that franchise is done. It wasn't even like that great of a franchise, I'll admit. It's very like they're good, but they're not incredible. But I mean, if there was ever a kill or a Resistance revival, I would lose it. But the last one for PlayStation I want to throw here to Nicole as well because I'm really interested in your thoughts on this. I mentioned it at the beginning of the podcast, but Bloodborne.
Oh,
Can we consider that a dead franchise at this point? Because it has been a decade with no remaster, no remakes, no sequels. Like it is, I feel like for any other game, we would consider that dead.
I
yeah,
mean, I would like to consider it dead if it wasn't for I'm not. I feel like I'm just saying this because it happens so much with everything, but like the way that From Software does things and the way that the new Elden Ring is going, the Night Rain game, it's like it's like Bloodborne is hopefully gonna live on in like all the other games. It's kind of like my feelings on Alan Wake, right? Alan Wake was dead, but then he carried on like living through Control. And I think that Bloodborne is mostly dead in that we probably won't get a sequel anytime soon, but it lives on in some ways throughout the other games. And elements of it exist in other games, and I think Lies of P is very much a like spiritual successor to Bloodborne, but I think that it is kind of dead. But I think maybe in 15 years, if they're feeling crazy, we might get it. We might get a state of play where they do it, and that'd be nice. So
Could you technically count that as a franchise though? Because if we're going by the logic of what we said previously as well, it is just one game. Like when I always want to see be revived as Bully. I love Bully. But it's never going to happen.
Yeah.
It just never is.
Right.
Your Bully is the Bloodborne of Rockstar. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
True. That is true.
Yeah.
I think the thing with Bloodborne that makes it a little bit bigger is that PlayStation does still use it. Like it is still a current thing that they like to advertise, and like they throw it at their trailers that they're like
It's weird.
Jerking
It really
themselves
is.
off a little bit,
You don't
they
get the
like throw it
sequel.
in at the end, and like it's around. It's like, and there have been comics and stuff from Bloodborne that go beyond just the game itself, but you're right, it is just the one game and then a DLC, and that's kind of it. But
Bloodborne exists in the Patches multiverse. So as a result, I see it all as like one connected universe to one.
that's
one
true.
weird
He just
degree.
interdimensional chops
He
between all of them.
honestly, I think he's like Mr. Door from Alan Wake. He can just hop around between games
I really,
and chill out.
I really do think Bloodborne's just so popular and has such an outcry for more stuff that people don't consider it dead, but I really do think it's dead. Like until we hear otherwise, it's been like a decade at this point. Like you can throw a rumor out, you can make a YouTube video where you try to hype up a Bloodborne 2 announcement at the next, PlayStation Showcase or, Game Awards or whatever, but until it happens, it's a dead franchise. It has it has as much credibility as saying that, like, I don't know, any obscure game is randomly coming out, like Dark Cloud's going to come back. Like it has the same credibility at this point. And that's depressing. That's not good.
It's weird because it's so fantastic, and it's like they've got Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3. They've got Demon Souls. They redid that. And then they've got Elden Ring and now Elden Ring Night Rain. So it's like, cool. So you got like, 2 and 3 of everything. So like, and they got Armored Core 6, So it's like, so where's Bloodborne 2? Like what's the problem?
Bloodborne.
Like why can you count to at least 2 with everything else, but with this,
and we know whose fault it is. We know it's Sony. We know it's Sony.
Yeah.
Because they've come out and said we would do it, but we don't own it. So it's up to Sony to decide if they want to work with us on it, and they haven't. So I guess Sony just hates Bloodborne. That's my determination is Sony just fucking hates it.
I'm gonna be a dick here and actually just enjoy this moment and go, well, you know what? I keep winning because now From Software just keeps releasing games that are playable on Xbox, so it's a win for me. Screw you, PlayStation.
At least you can play Bloodborne at all on PlayStation. That's the problem.
Yeah. I can't even.
Where's
play
the port?
Bloodborne
Where's the
over
Xbox
here.
port?
Yeah, I know. I had to watch other people play it, and then I got a PlayStation 4 in order to appease myself. And
it was worth it, wasn't it? It was so worth it.
Yeah, to play that.
It's so worth it.
So
there are some. I'll mention them briefly, and then we'll kind of wrap up here. Sam already mentioned one like third-party game that is kind of dead. Doesn't seem like it's coming back in Bully. There's a few other like that. Anything Valve makes dies after 2. So, I mean, we got Half-Life Alyx, I guess, which counts.
Win.
So it's like not necessarily dead, but like, I don't know. Half-Life 3, sure, whatever. Never gonna happen. Portal 3, never gonna happen. Left 4 Dead 3, never gonna happen.
No.
So anything Valve makes is pretty much destined to die after 2.
Yeah.
They don't need money anymore. They've got Steam. They don't need to make games.
Yeah.
No, they don't need to make
That's
games
true.
anymore. Although they still are sometimes, so that's
very
it is
rarely.
what it is.
It's nice.
I mean, Half-Life Alyx, right?
Yeah.
So Deus Ex is a big one that got rebooted, had a trilogy, fumbled the bag a little bit at the end there, died off, hasn't come back. Really great RPG simulator, stealth simulator that is just severely underplayed for how even like popular and enigmatic it is, like how influential it is across gaming as a whole, and it's still like criminally underplayed. But it
Arcane
seems like
became
it's effectively dead.
my fix for that, and now they've got Redfall, so I've like lost all of my
Yeah,
good
Dishonored's
like
very,
kind of
very
games that
Deus
are like that.
Exy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
Dishonored was very
rip.
Deus Exy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But bring Deus Ex back, and then
Yeah.
two here that I hope, I think Gabe might have some opinions on are LA Noir and Mirror's Edge. I actually put on this list as
Yep.
a dead game.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
that's
do.
sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do have opinions on those. Uh, LA
Sounds so
We all
Noir.
have
sad.
opinions.
Well, I'll go with the one that I want to come back, that being LA Noir. Uh LA Noir was like such an interesting game, and unfortunately, it was just basically too expensive for even Take-Two to see the value in trying to continue. Um, it was like very interesting to actually have like this, like as advanced of facial tracking that they tried to do with it. Uh, was it the best game ever? No, but it had a solid arc. It had a solid ending, which of course I'm not going to go into, even though most people know it at this point.
Solid memes. Solid
Yes,
memes.
solid
Oh
memes.
yeah,
Love
Press
the
X to
memes.
Doubt
Exactly.
is legendary.
Yep. Yes, it is. I use it all the time. Um, I'll literally say X to doubt, like at my day job sometimes. Um, so like, yeah, exactly. Like there's such a, and I feel like there are people who will want to play that game again. I know that there are people who have like where games are inspired by it. I know there are those games. A lot of detective games follow that same formula, but there's a lot of the like semi newer games that like seem a little bit more inspired by LA Noire than others. Meanwhile, with Mirror's Edge, I'm kind of scared that EA will just fail again because like they tried with Mirror's Edge Catalyst. It failed because it was an open world, in my opinion. That it like I don't think that it needed to be an open world. The like beauty of Mirror's Edge was that it was a linear experience that had multiple ways of getting from point A to point B. And like it wasn't that way with Mirror's Edge Catalyst. It was an open world game, and it was a very weird game as well.
Mm.
Let me throw an idea at you.
Yeah.
Mirror's Edge,
Mm-hmm.
but it's developed by the Dying Light people. What do you think?
I mean, like, the movement was not an issue even in Catalyst. The fact of the matter that the game itself had I mean, like, I guess that could work. Like, my biggest problem with open world games, literally, just that they never feel like they were lived in. Like,
Yeah.
it's very difficult to make an open world game fascinating enough to feel lived in. And with Mirror's Edge Catalyst, it was even worse.
Yeah, maybe just
Um,
scale it back down, you know?
yeah, exactly. I
Scale
liked
it back down.
Mirror's Edge for the sake that it was very, very um just scaled back. It was very different to Dice's normal games, and it was very unique for the time because it was inspired by things like Casino Royale's chase scene. It was inspired by parkour, like Legends, things like that. It wasn't inspired by shooty shooty.
And
Even
then
though
they gave her a gun, and then it all went downhill.
yeah, it did.
They
That
were
was
inspired by Shuri Shuri.
yeah. Well, it
Oh man.
feels that just felt like EA was like too scared to make something that didn't have at least some sort of shooty shooty. Uh
True. True. So, to end this off, we didn't get to. We had a plan to do a game franchise that should not come back. We mostly just talked about the ones that should come back. I think I think the best thing, Sam, is we're gonna let's push that to a sec. We're gonna make a whole nother podcast about that, and then give us some more time to research into some of these franchises that probably don't need to come back because of certain reasons. We'll need to do a little bit extra research into that.
I'll
But
bring
we're
the
gonna
notebook, don't
we're
worry.
gonna definitely come back to that. But to end off here, I'm gonna give a list of game franchises, and I just want you guys to tell me if you think that they are dead or not. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
All right. So we're gonna start. We already talked about Dead Rising. Max Payne, is it dead?
Dead.
Oh no. Sorry. No, they can't go through this quickly. Sorry. No. I'm going to very quickly defend it. Absolutely not. What are you saying?
Yeah, go
Sorry,
ahead.
very quickly. Okay. Rockstar killed it. Okay. They made another one and
So
killed
it's dead. So it's dead.
No.
So
No.
it's dead.
How dare you? No, how dare you? Let me finish my point. So, okay. The Max Payne continued living in Alan Wake as Alex Casey, and he is a character in Alan Wake 2. His name is Alex Casey. He is a character. The Max Payne franchise lives on in some way, and Remedy is now making 2 new games, which are the remakes of it. Okay, so this might be its time to come back. I don't think it's dead. Next.
Okay.
Dead.
If Max Payne, if Dead Rising getting a remake doesn't make it alive, then Max Payne getting a remake doesn't make it alive. And then also, if Quantum Break's dead, Max Payne's dead. Right? Is that true?
You do realize you can just see the anger like brewing in her face right now.
Hey, I didn't do it. That's like
Yeah.
somebody
Adding
getting
fuel to the
murdered, and
fire.
I'm like, oh, she got murdered, and then
I
you're like,
think
ah!
the difference. I think the difference here is the thing I'm saying is that Max Payne is being given a chance to come back, and Remedy has a way of bringing things back. Alan Wake, we thought was dead, and Control kind of gave it the door it needed to come back to life. And Max Payne is having that with Control and Alan Wake 2. They're basically doing the backdoor pilot, I guess, if I wanted to use TV terms. They did a backdoor pilot in Control for Alan Wake, and they're basically doing a backdoor pilot for Quantum Break and Max Payne within Alan Wake 2. So like they keep opening the doors to allow these franchises to live, and I think that this is the beginning of Max Payne coming back.
What if that instead of it being a Max Payne remake, it's a Death Rally remake?
I'd love that. I'd love that so much.
All right.
BioShock.
Dead.
Yeah.
Dead, leave it alone. I don't want a new one. Dead.
That's fair.
Do we not think that new one's going to come out?
Oh, it's going to come out.
It won't be the same.
No. Dead.
Yeah.
Dead.
Twisted Metal.
Dead.
Yes, dead.
The only reason why I put
Unfortunately,
it out
dead.
of questionable because they got a fucking TV show for some fucking reason.
Anthony Mackie can't save this one.
Yeah.
He
And
couldn't
has a
save this
second
one. He
season.
couldn't save Captain America. He couldn't save that. No.
And it's getting a second season. I don't
It's getting a
understand.
second season?
It is, yeah.
Yep.
What?
And I don't
That's
fucking
crazy.
understand
That's nuts.
why.
I mean, Halo
they
got a
aren't
second season, so I guess
Yeah.
anything can get a second
Yeah.
season at this point.
But I don't
That's
understand
crazy.
why they aren't trying to bring it back. Like I don't
Wow.
understand that.
That's crazy. Legacy
Maybe a
of Kain.
TV show help.
I mean, like it improves sales and play count when like just look at the Fallout show impacted 76s and 4 and 3.
Yeah, it's free advertising.
Oh,
can do.
Yeah.
Witcher. Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly.
But they needed to have something out the gate ready to go
Yes.
because there's not if you watch Twisted Metal and you're like, ooh, I know this is a game, I want to play it. You're playing like what, a PS3 game is like the
Yep.
earliest thing,
No,
or like the latest
was
thing
like-
that came out.
Yeah, that's the latest thing was a PS3 game. And it's like
So nobody
why?
has that.
Yeah, exactly. But Legacy of Kain, that one's difficult.
got a
'cause, like,
remaster.
yeah, exactly. It just got a remaster, but it's such a I would say it's in that like dead asterisk because that one has more of a likelihood of getting something new. Because yes, it's dead at the moment, but people wanted a new Legacy of Kain game. They're getting the remaster. Granted, I want to say it's by Aspire, which some people don't like. It has a chance of coming back. The next one doesn't.
Beyond Good and Evil. We've seen Beyond Good and Evil 2. It's been a long time.
Yeah,
Is that game even ever coming out?
Until it releases, it's dead.
yeah,
Do you even think
Yeah.
it will?
Oh,
I
We
genuinely
haven't heard
think
like what's the news on that? Because it's
they keep
It
pushing
exists.
Yeah, exactly. It exists.
it exists somewhere on a
Yeah.
high drive somewhere.
And
whenever
I
whenever games take this long, I get like Duke Nukem PTSD.
that's
We
fair.
don't need- we just don't need that crap.
That's
you know?
fair.
I don't trust it.
I feel like it's going to be an example of like it's going to be like a game that's going to launch in like the PS like 8 generation. Like it is going to take that long. Like no.
Yeah. I don't think
know,
Beyond Good
man.
and Evil's ever coming out. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
exactly.
I don't think that's ever
Yeah,
seen.
no,
If
no.
Ubisoft is struggling with Assassin's Creed, I don't see where Beyond Good and Evil fits into this anymore.
Oh no,
Yeah,
yeah. Think
yeah,
about
that's
Ubisoft as
fair.
a company. It's not looking great for them at the moment. I don't want Ubisoft to fail as a company. I want them to succeed. I want them to bring back their magic. It's just not looking great at the moment.
No, it's
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
Silent Hill is
it's alive.
the franchise
Alive.
dead outside of remakes?
Alive.
No,
Very
this
alive.
is alive because they do have other games in the works.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They
There
do.
are so
Oh, yeah?
many games in the works. Yeah, they did a
Yeah, they
whole
do.
Is there any
thing
hope
the
for
other
it?
year. 100% hope. Are you joking?
Yeah,
I mean, like,
I
to
mean
be
that one's
good.
alive. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd definitely
Yeah.
say Silent Hill's alive.
Okay.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
I think there's got lots of potential. 2 showed what they can do, so yeah.
I mean,
Mhm.
didn't they have that free PlayStation game? Was that Silent?
PT,
Was that
Silent Hills.
No.
No, there was another one, the short message or whatever it
Yeah.
was called.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There
Was
was
that the one? Because I know there was supposed to be some Silent Hill thing where you like watch something and you interacted with it with like a Twitch
Oh yeah,
chat or
that
something.
failed. That
Was
failed
that what y'all?
spectacularly. No, there was
That's
like
the
a
last
there's
thing
like
I
a
heard of like a new Silent Hill thing.
there was
Silent
like a
Hill,
like a
the
little
short
like
message.
yeah, it's a short message, right? Okay, yeah. That was like a 2 hour like mini Silent Hill game.
Yeah.
It wasn't really that good, I don't think.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right, Dead Space.
Dead.
Yeah, dead.
Yeah.
Dead.
Yeah.
Dead
Dead.
Space
Space is
3
dead?
was awful. The thing is, Dead Space 3, the DLC was such a good ending to the game. They just filled it with all this co-op crap because I guess EA was trying to monetize that. They were like, everyone likes co-op experience now. Let's just jump onto that, and that's why.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Dead Space 2 was so good. So, and also with the way that like, with how the Callisto Protocol went with the developers of Dead Space, that I don't see any hope in hell of it coming back except for just the remaster of Dead Space 1.
Yeah.
And the remake didn't reportedly didn't sell that
Remake,
well,
sorry.
right?
Yeah.
No, people,
No.
it's forgotten, unfortunately.
I
Yeah.
bought it and I've not even played it, and then I got it given for free by PlayStation. So I'm like,
Hey.
oh well.
I think it's on
There we
EA
go.
Play, so I can play it without having to pay for it as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Damn. Shenmue probably dead because 3
Probably.
finally came out and nobody bought it. So
Yeah.
that's probably
Yeah.
gone. Well, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna throw one last name out there, because that's just a personal thing. I don't think it's not a big deal. But Jumping Flash, good old classic PS1 platformer game that got 2 games. Bring it back, baby. Bring it back. That's my shit. Bring it back. Nobody gives a shit about that game except me, but bring it back. It's so good. Anyway,
It's not the one with, like,
that
the
has
giant
been
like mech rabbit where like it
yes. It's so
what you mean.
good, dude. It's so good.
I thought of one that I'd like to see come back that's a little
Let's
bit
go.
more niche that I haven't even played myself,
also have
but
one.
of course you do.
Shit, I got to think of one now.
V Ribbon.
The who?
Okay.
It was a rhythm game made by the same people who did Parappa the Rapper.
Oh, okay.
Was it
I like
V
that.
The
Ribbon?
ribbon or rhythm?
It was for oh, it was Vib Ribbon.
Vib ribbon. Interesting.
Ribbon.
Yeah,
Um,
it was for the original PlayStation.
was it?
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Jesus.
Oh, this thing. Yeah, I
Yep.
know what you're talking about. Okay.
Yep.
I gotcha. The like black and white.
Yep.
Or like the black background, white squiggly line bunny rabbit thing.
What can I
Okay.
say?
Well,
I
what's the
like
rabbit
I don't
theme?
know.
There's
I-
a lot of rabbit
yeah.
rabbit
You need
games.
another
so-
There
Viva
is a lot of
rabbit
rabbits.
sound.
Okay,
Yeah.
what game?
I have
What
a
dead
rabbit
rabbit game should
incoming.
come back?
I have a rabbit incoming.
Rabbits?
Viva
Let's bring the
Pinata.
rabbits back.
Viva
Viva
Pinata,
Pinata!
guys. I want Viva
Yeah, let's
Pinata
go.
back. I want a
Fair.
new one. I want it ASAP.
Hell yeah.
And it's got rabbits in it.
Did
Pinata
y'all know
rabbits.
there was a cartoon?
No.
Of course,
What?
there
Yeah,
was.
there's a
Was
whole
it-
ass like cartoon on
What?
Nickelodeon or something for Viva Pinata.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my
I
god.
mean,
Yeah.
like,
It was it was a thing that existed.
I knew
My
that.
got one.
camera's screwing up. I need to lean over and fix it.
I got one last one as well. Rayman.
fair.
Bruh.
Rayman
Rayman.
Origins and Legends was so good. So good.
Excellent.
I
Excellent.
agree.
Now,
I
here's a
agree.
question for you. Should Rayman come back in that 2D style, or should they try to do the 3D games again?
2D.
Yeah, 2D.
Pity.
Okay. Okay. I would personally want to see a 3D because we already saw the 2D with the Origins and Legends, and it was great. I want to see if they can make 3D work good, especially if we're entering this renaissance after Astrobot of like 3D platformers being a thing. I don't know. Maybe Rayman 3D could come back. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, either could work, but like, I don't know. Part of me likes 2D platformers more than 3D platformers.
Throw a spanner
But-
into the works. 2.5D. There you go.
Oh, yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
literally 3 of these games have rabbits in it.
Yeah.
Like Rayman has rabbids. So there's rabbits everywhere. Like they're just
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
over the place.
Yep. Fair enough.
Well,
Smash
we're gonna
Jump-
go ahead
Smash
and
Jump
hop
mascot is
on
a rabbit.
out of here.
Yeah.
And that has been the Smash Jump
Oh.
podcast. Do we have any plugs that you want to give in at the very end, Gabe?
Yeah. So join our Patreon. You get early access to the Smash Jump podcast, as well as early access to select original content. And you can also follow me on Twitter at Gabe_REISINGER. Nicole?
I have the Wormhole Extremists on YouTube. If anybody cares about Stargate, I knew Ben did last week. That was awesome. He came to my stream, by the way, for the whole 2 hours, commenting the whole time. We were like, he was like, "You guys have so many facts about the show." I'm like, "Yeah, let's go." So that was great, talking to him through the stream the whole time. Yeah, so we watched Stargate. We're on season 7 right now, out of 17 seasons.
Oh
So it's 3 TV shows, 3 movies, and then another mini series. So yeah, it's a lot of television. I'm gonna be doing it in like when I'm like 31. I'm 27 right now, so still going.
It's a good life
But
right
yeah,
there.
yeah. So come check out the Wormhole Extremists
Yep.
on YouTube. Yep.
And
Sam?
I don't really have that much social media stuff to plug. I can plug the YouTube channel, I guess. Game Opinion, GAMER-PINION. I always forget how to spell it. I'll upload a video like every 6 months because I'm too busy. So, so if you want to, I don't know, if you want to come and have a look at it, have a look at it. That's really about it, though.
Yep.
All right, and then obviously you can find me at Ashton Lavelle YT on YouTube. I will be starting my videos on every Final Fantasy game soon. Now that the first one is done up and good to go, so you guys can look forward to that. And obviously stick around to the Smash Jump YouTube channel. Hit subscribe and hit the like button on this video if you enjoyed it, and go ahead and head to the website smashjump.com to see all of our content. Keep up with all the latest gaming news and reviews. That has been the Smash Jump podcast. We hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
Bye.
Bye-bye.